Good day, my name is Artem Zhdanok. I'm a head and CEO of ARNO-Token project. Our project main goal of our project is to produce the secondary power supply for home and self-industrial usage. Right now, as you know, we start to produce a second prototype, the real prototype, which will be tested at the European Union and United States for its safety requirements approaching, for example, electrical safety, health safety, all we need to test. But for the first time we need to assemble the unit itself. You see, there are three general parts of every unit for home or self-industrial usage. I mean the secondary power supply system. First is the power supply itself. It's, in our case, it's a number of accumulators, lead-acid accumulators. It's more simple to production, very useful item, and we assemble a number of such serial lead-acid accumulators with addition to the negative plate for the first time, addition of our carbon nanomaterials. You see, I mean, for example, the such accumulators. It's the accumulator with nanomaterials at the negative place, produced by Bulgarian Monbat company, especially for us. It's a test number of such accumulators. With right now we obtain several amount of it and start to assemble a main unit, the unit of power supply. But it's not only item needed for complete and safety work. We need also the, for the first time, inverter to connect the city grid, for example, solar panels, wind turbine with our power supply, and connect with small grids with alternative current to the, our power supply with direct current. We need an inverter. Right now we use the emulation of inverter, not a serial produced by some vendor in China, for example, or in United States, in Germany. It's no matter what inverter we use, because third part we need usually and immediately need. It's the software, management software for maintenance and for the management the flow of energy. Flow from small grids, flow from external green energy power source to our secondary power source and back. You see, as I noted previously, there are three main parts of our end solution. First is the power supply itself, second is the inverter, third is the software management system. Right now we use the, as the secondary power supply, we use some lead-acid accumulators developed by Monbat company in Bulgaria. It's serial. Right now it's not a serial production. It's a test line of such accumulators. Also, because there are many types of inverters, Chinese, German, United States, with different construction, with different protocol of exchange, we supply a special plugin to add any type of inverters to establish a bridge between alternative current and direct current and any source of energy. We may use any type of inverter, and right now we use an emulation of it because it's not so cheap. Right now we use some emulation of it at the table, and of course right now we taste for the first time one of the main parts of our end solution, the management software. It's our own software developed by our support and software development team. It's our own software. Of course, right now we show you the full process for testing. Okay, let's discuss about one of the main parts of our solution, of our end solution, about the management software. You see, the power supply itself we use only for store the energy, store from some possible sources as the small grid, solar panels, wind turbine, and other. We may consume the stored energy in any time we wish, but for it we need to manage the energy flow through, of course, converter. We use the system of plug-in for any type of inverters you use. For example, at your home may be placed some Chinese converter, German, United States converter, Indian. It's no matter how, it's no matter what type of converter you use. We need only a plug-in with computer. You see the screen of computer fitted to the industrial type of this. It's because we include the industrial type of computer in our solution with our own software. You see, for the manage the energy flow, we need to have 3 different types of streams. First is a stream from grids. It's maybe home grid, city grid, country grid, with any type of voltage, with any type of currency. But we need to know what type of grid we use. Our software measure, with the help of inverter, measured the input voltage, and when we need to store the energy from external grid, we may do this with the help of our software management system to our secondary power storage. Also, our software suitable for control the power, inner power of all our power sources, because it's complicated structure. All power sources, his voltage, his consumption, and his current. Because we have a large amount of parallel or serial lead-acid accumulators, and we need to have a one-dimensional, for example, current, one-dimensional voltage for whole system. And we may manage all of our parts in secondary power source. We know for each of it, we know the voltage, the consumption, the current, and the exhaust. Also, we may use in home. We may use the internal power supply like a freezer, a TV, computer, and we may have the external power supply like a small grid. for example. Because of it, we need to control the consumption in a, for example, home through the same inverter. We need to control the input power supply. We need the control to output power supply. We need the control the parameters of our secondary power supply system. We need to control, simultaneously control the condition of our inverter. It's a very complicated task, but we successfully solve it and create a special our own software to develop to solve all this problem in one pocket, in one software, one program module. You may see it. He shows all flows of current with voltage, with current, and with industrial input-output, for example. You see, right now we tested from the small grid to this lead-acid battery. All parameters of our connections, tunable, of course. It's a need for manage of inverter. And we may control all 4 parameters. We need to successful usage of secondary power source which will be created. Unfortunately, the creation of new type of lead-acid accumulators and its certification, it's a very expensive process, expensive by time for the first time. We need about from half of year to 9 months only for certification of one of lead-acid accumulators for the health safety, electrical safety, and all what needed for certification in the United States or in Europe. For the second, we need to certificate our end solution, the number of these accumulators, with the same parameters, and also we need to taste it. Taste it for the number of cycling, recycling, for the number of charging, for the highest level of charge, lowest level of charge, for the consumption, and so on, so on, so. It's a long time to taste all these parameters. We need about from 1 year to 1.5 years. But it's possible, and we start to do it right now since begin of next year. Today is 23rd December. From approximately 10 January of next year, we start to test whole system with our own management software, with some Chinese inverter, and with the power supply, zero power supply, zero lead-acid accumulators. To clearance all we need in addition, or we need nothing to addition, to clear our mind about the end product of our finest project.